Free and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action, bringing fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom for today's shifting paradigm. Now, it is your moment to open your mind, relax into your body and spirit as we explore the greater meaning of your now experience. Bringing wisdom, laughter, and clarity, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live.
It's Sunday.
I am wisdom teacher Shri Ramka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra. And wow, what a show, what a moment, what a service is here for all of us right now today. Let's really breathe that in. And I just want to give a big shout out to all of you that are joining us from all over the world. This moment matters. Thank you for saying yes to you. That is the gift. And in this moment right now, we are already in, and I know you're feeling it, we are in this peak up level experience right now, this incredible new moon solar eclipse. New moon, solar eclipse, pretty amazing. Breathe it in. And a moment before us about mastery that is so beyond the consensus reality that it can only be a groundbreaking moment. That's all in store for today, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So here we are in the BCR moment. That's
there it
beyond the consensus reality.
It is, and welcome.
You know, we want to say welcome to all of our visitors at Official Shri and Kira YouTube channel, as well as the people listening in live at BBS Radio, Oneness Talk Radio, and the affiliates that are picking up this stream, because this is the stream of authenticity. This is the stream that we trust will awaken greater love in you.
And those call boards are open and they're filling really fast. So write down these numbers, because if you call and it's busy, it just means you got to wait till we start calling in people. So here we are over at BBS, toll free, 888-627-6008, 888-627-6008. And of course, you do get to listen to the show while you're holding. And over at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. That's 517-208-1500. And this is, I just have to say, the embrace of this peak up level energy is so beyond the moment of the mind that it is the moment of the ascension. It is the moment of the consciousness. It is the moment of the awareness, or it is the moment of the density.
Ooh. So we are at a time, and we're going to talk about the dates and how this all has come in. But the moment of ascension, or the moment of the density, is a wonderful way of saying, are you expanding and lifting, or are you contracting and seeking comfort through that contraction, that collapse?
You know, this week is so beautiful, because through all that energy and through all that other experience that's happening right now, and remember that we are in a month of awareness. December has been all about awareness. And as we are in this peak up level experience right now, it's that moment to go beyond and to really understand the metaphor of why the guru goes into the cave and why they come out. It's a moment of going beyond the illusion of the dream. It's a moment of saying yes to you. It's a moment that matters. This December 14 through December 21 window is it's breathtakingly breathless is the only way I can describe it.
Or it'll take your breath away.
All the above. I mean, all the above. It's really all about breath, and ultimately it's about that breath of creation.
Absolutely, because on the breath is your gateway to expansion and to nourishment.
Yeah.
So when the breath is flowing, meaning when we're able to go, take in a big breath, let it out, and relax on the exhale, when we're able to really do that, what we're saying is, I receive. I am able to receive energy. I am able to receive life, and I'm able to relax into that relationship or that dynamic of free-flowing life force energy. However, many of us have had the experience where we suddenly realize we're breathing shallow, We're breathing in the top part of our lungs, and that's the gateway to the recognition of, wait a minute, my stomach's also tight. Wait a minute, I'm kind of white-knuckling life right now. And that's the signal to make a choice.
Wow.
And the choice could be, I choose to relax and breathe and trust, or the choice could be, somebody come help me here, And so we have so many opportunities, but the key comes down to your awareness and your choice.
Always. And as you're doing that right now, Shri, as you were sharing all of that, as I'm connecting with all of you, I'm feeling, and it's been a powerful day. I've been interacting with a lot of beings all day long. A lot of this holding in the throat in the truth chakra. Now, this is not unwarranted or without cause. Let's put it that way. Remember that right now we are in the year of perfect balance. 2020 is the year of perfect balance. It has been and will continue to be for the next few days, the 4 plus the double infinite. And it's been that double infinite energy that ignited this up-level experience that we have been in, this 2-year up-level journey. And this is all inside of the cycle of what we've been lovingly referring to as the Ascension escalator that opened in 2015 and is the 7 years, 2015 through 2022. So this past year, 2020, when we first put out the up-level calendar, we first started talking about all of this, everything that was in that up-level calendar, while the calendar itself, I would be in trance and they would be done and it would go out, none of us really knew what it meant until we would get closer to each month, because we are in time that is that fluid. Remember that 2020, the energy flows of 2020. Do we have that graphic or not, Shri? The 2020 energy flow?
Let me take a peek here.
If we don't, that's okay. I can explain it. But there it is right there, 2020 energy flow. So
there you go.
Let us not forget that 2020 was the first year that blew our minds as far as we knew at the beginning. We knew at the end of 2019, 2020 was going to be different. It was the bridge year between linear and spiral time. And I really want you guys to hear that Shri and I get how that can feel to hear for the first time, or that can be assaulting to a mind. It can be, what? This is crazy. All of those thoughts, honestly, are the ego saying, don't believe it, don't go here. Because once you free yourself of the linear time experience, your multidimensional presence is able to anchor with greater fluidity, greater presence, and greater ability to actually be the commander of the ship of this body, to be in that sacred union, to be in that moment of ascended presence. So if you're gazing at the graphic, what you see is that January through August 2020 was our last experience of direct linear progression. However, it was contained inside of the spiral of ignition. 2020 is that spark of the flame. It's that energy that ignites this spiral. And this spiral time has already begun. We are already in it right now in December. And as you gaze at this graphic, and if you're not gazing, what I want to share is you'll see that January through August was like, okay, January, February, March, April, May, June, August. But then we had to take a leap of faith to go into September. And then we had to move from profound shift to visionary transformation through timeline adaptation for October. And then we had to literally leap over our brain to go to November. And then we had to say yes to move into December. And this moment of yes right now is anchoring the profound shift that is the spiral time ignition. And this is why in this moment right now, the conversation that we want to expand this energy into today, and we're going to give you all of the left brain, why we're here and how to move through it. But the real conversation is to understand why that guru goes into the cave and then why the guru comes out. But in order to really understand that, it's to really get to the essence of why labeling and dismissing consciousness ascension is so much easier than taking or facing the responsibility of your own actions and outcomes. And yet the two are the one. And Shri, it's such a profound moment, and it's what's bringing us to this our final peak up-level moment of the entire year.
Well, yeah, but I do want to address this notion of being willing to dismiss or deny the ascension opportunity.
Yeah.
Because
Rationalize it.
Or rationalize it, or
Yeah.
in some fashion, put it in a container.
Exactly.
It reminds me a bit of waking up the teenager on Saturday morning.
Uh-oh, don't even try.
You know,
Duck the shoe.
And how many of us are the teenager that says, just don't wake me up.
Right,
leave me with my dreamland.
Right?
Okay? And
we call those the drowsy, or actually the SC-NA call that the drowsy.
Because we're in that moment of we would rather stay with that which we're experiencing because there's a familiarity and somehow it's comforting, and it's comforting to the ego, versus the soul, which is saying it's time to wake up, beloved. It's time to pay attention. It's time to be who you took birth to be. That feels like responsibility.
Well, it only feels like responsibility until you can move into the consciousness that is sincerely dancing. That's that guru dance.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's the guru. And so we got a metaphor there. The guru goes into the cave. The classic image is the guru's up in the mountains and goes into the cave and meditates until the time comes when the guru chooses to go back out again. So how many times in our life do we go into that cave seeking the guidance, the inspiration, the clarity? And then what do? Do we choose to kind of stay caved, enclosed, or do we choose to step out and be seen? That's a powerful question.
Well, and it's even deeper. As we go even deeper than that, it's understanding why the cave is there and what that expanded symbolism means. Because we are at that moment where the rising tide of awareness is impacting that choice. Remember that, let's see, do we have that ascended numerology? Remember that November and December are one experience. And if you look at this ascended numerology chart, if you're watching us, you'll notice that it's like you're seeing a mirror image of something here. And in many ways you are. However, the real difference is happening. And if you pay attention and you look over here, December 14, it is tomorrow. If you look on the right side of this chart, December 14, 2020 in ascended numerology is a 6. And that is happening during an illuminated new moon peak, the third and final peak up level of this year, which means it's the ceiling of the pyramid, it's the three-legged stool, it's where everything's going to ignite on a solar eclipse. Now, if you gaze at the body, you will notice what? That the 6 is right there. It is your balance. It is your second chakra. It is your creation. And if you look at it on the wheel, on the ever-refining spiral wheel of your soul's emanation, the 6 is really the one that could also carry the biggest burden. It's like the 7, if I look at that clock and I go from the 7 all the way around to the 5, that 6 literally can be holding it all, right? Yeah. And look at what a month we're at. Look at how many times we're diving in and out of the infinite space. Go over to your body and notice that right now, in this moment, the energy of the divine, that left divine energy, that feminine energy is coming in like a comet. And for the first time, it's going to hit your second chakra and it's going to ignite the new balance. This is what we have been talking about all year. This is what we have been saying, is that it is about the restoration of balance. And so the single crescendo moment is actually tomorrow, December 14.
Let's take a breath on that.
Yeah. So you're in the energy right now.
One of the things that's been happening all year long, and it's certainly coming to a crescendo moment right now as we move into Monday in this up level, is the entire gift of a year of cosmic connection.
And up level.
And up level, yes.
And the first of 2. We get another one next year.
And so the whole thing, 2020, 2020, and then as we looked at the ascended numerology for December and passing through the infinite constantly, what that really means is that every being is being given a charge of pure connection, pure
Pulsing.
Energy, a pulse. And that charge of energy, then, you are sovereign. You can decide how you're going to integrate it and use it. And if you want to empower a traditional or a life that is has greater boundaries on it, or if you want to empower a life that is expanding, evolving, it's up to you. it's all good. You all get to choose. You're all sovereign. However, when we work with the flow, we often find more buoyancy than when we seek to push away on the flow.
Now really breathe that in, because it does contradict a lot of our habitual experiences and the ways that we interface. And so here's one that I want to invite all of you to bring your hand to your heart, because I'm going to show us the December up-level calendar again. I'm going to fully explain it if you're listening only. But I want you to really call into your heart, because what I'm going to share with you in the next few moments might really rattle some of your perceptions. So in this moment, just say, okay, let me just receive. Let me just notice. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the December up-level calendar. This is the final up-level calendar of 2020. The up-level calendar for 2021 will be released soon. And what's really important is those of you that have this calendar at home, and it's still up at our website, TriNKira.com. It's on the homepage. Just scroll. You can still grab it for yourselves. This is an important one to pay attention to, because look up at the top. The cosmic Ascension. Shri, read us what they're saying.
This time, through the year 2022, will set in motion the next 1,000 years.
Now, I want you guys to really breathe that in, because back last January 2020, this was what the cosmic Ascension wanted to be shared with the energy of this month right now. This was before we knew the spiral time was opening. This was before we had the time compression of the past few months. This is before we actually all skipped ahead, before we started shifting lines again. This was pre-COVID when all this was put out. And so the one thing that we know is true as we look at December 2020 is that it's about profound shift. This, as we opened in 2020, January 2020 brought us in with profound shift. And like a rainbow bridge through the entire year, we are culminating with profound shift. Only that shift has been so outside of the, quote, boundaries of perception that for many, they are unaware of it because of the intensified density pull. Now, speaking of that, I want you to look at this calendar. And the most visible thing that I'm sure many of you are wondering is, why is there nothing for December 21, 2020? Why is the peak up level, peak, and there were only 3 in this year, and this one is the kahuna. Why is the peak up level tomorrow on the 14th during that illuminated new moon, the culminating illuminated new moon of this year, and the solar eclipse in harmony with each other, the moon and the sun in harmony with each other, coming into our chakra of creation on the ascended numerological scale? It's like everything is converging tomorrow. It's tomorrow's date that amplifies us. It is tomorrow's date that moves us forward. It is tomorrow's date that has the greatest potentiality for the leap in consciousness that has ever been. Now, why is that so controversial? Because of everything that is around the December 21 date is exactly why it is not on the up-level calendar. The December 21 date heralds a moment in this experience of linear time expansion. Thereby, it is not an up level. It is an expansion. It is a continuation through an expansion, but it is not an up level. And this is important to understand. So what is the difference? What is the difference between up leveling and expanding? Up leveling is a conscious choice made from conscious awareness. That's what an up level is. Expansion is a consciousness experience that affects the all, and the all are always affected. So on December 21, 2020, there will be a massive expansion and absolutely the birth of everything that everyone is talking about. Yes, 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 and yes. And there will also be a massive expansion of everything else. The one rising does not mitigate the other. The two are rising together. This is actually a divine moment that's saying, pay attention. Yes, it is a celebration and celebrate. And if you are here to hold a higher level of consciousness, if that is what is calling you, then it's right now. It's this week. It's December 14 through December 21 when we are being gifted with the opportunity to sincerely, through this peak up level energy, say yes to our unified presence within. That beautiful solar disk, that masculine energy coming in with the illuminated new moon. And they're both in their void. It's an illuminated new moon. It's in its void, and it's a solar eclipse. They're meeting each other in the void of creation and saying, what do you want? What do you want? What are you birthing? And that's the moment when the guru can step out of the cave, when the guru is clear and the guru has transcended the pain of the illumination. Because what many forget is that the guru moves into the cave knowing that interfacing with density is basically impossible when you get to that final moment of illumination, because there is no emotional body left. There is no navigating of density. There's just the raw being. Thereby, the guru steps into the cave of their inner mastery, the cave of this body, illuminating at this beautiful level of illuminated presence, and stays in that cave until that energy can fully anchor, thereby assuring the movement forward.
We are all making choices, and having information and having life experience informs our choices. And so here we are at this beautiful moment where the energies of the cosmos are conspiring to work
in every way,
to work with the opening that comes with the astrological calendar. You know,
exactly.
the astrology has to do with the constellations and stars that are associated with Earth.
With this realm of density,
With this
realm
chunk
of
of the
creation.
universe.
Remember, it's all that's part of this.
And so that's actually, in many ways, part of the whole density experience.
And part of what can keep you trapped.
Yes.
Because yes, it is greater than the soul, than the vision of this, but it's still this.
It's still a dome that's traveling with and associated to the realm of density, has some usefulness. The cosmic energy is doing its best to come through that isolation, that bubble, the planetary thought body, the consciousness bubble, the cocoon that everybody's in. You know, you wherever you go, there you are. That's because you're carrying with you the lenses and the cocoon of your identity. What you've chosen to say, that's me, and nothing else is. So you've screened it. The cosmic energy uses the astrological windows to help put a little pinhole in the cocoon, to help give you a gift of energy, to help activate cosmic DNA, to help in any way possible for the children of Earth to remember more fully that I am. And that I am here, and that I have a life of power, dignity, and service.
Yes, 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 and yes.
And so we invite you to be open to the energy, the frequency, the support that is here now and expanding, especially tomorrow on the 14th of December.
Well, it's this, let's go back, right? So this actually started this whole past weekend. And as a matter of fact, in today's beautiful film, so much to share with you, we even have a little piece of that beautiful Bria Rose wove in, because this was actually in the Galactic Encyclopedia Lesson 10, which was last Monday's Monday Magic experience. And if you have not joined us for Monday Magic, if topics like this interest you, if you want to learn more, if you're not quite sure what we're talking about, but you want to know what we're talking about, join us. Two ways you can do that. First, go to ShreeAndKira.com and get into Monday Magic. It's donation. You can get in for as little as $1 if you want. Just, come on in, join us. And remember, your donations help our World Service humanitarian projects. In addition to that, you want to check out Explore the Mysteries. That is our show that airs every Sunday night. It is a 1-hour in-depth exploration of the ascension energy that's working through you and really amplifying through this process. And tonight's episode is all about self-sabotage and these repetitive cycles. And this is really important to listen to. And this is why we put it out today, same day as this show. It's there. It's right there for you. It'll be there tonight. Because this week, right now, the 21st has so much myth and lore and juju around it, whatever you want to call it, woo-woo, whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that it is happening. It is a profound, beautiful blessing. It's astrologically based. It's phenomenal. Same thing coming up in March. We're coming right up to this in the March equinox. Same thing where density is going to bridge the cosmic. And the March equinox is about breaking that cycle, about coming together in a way that's totally different. The December 21 has a lot of spiritualized dogma coming in around it as well. And this is why if you feel that call to higher consciousness, if you are aware of your awareness, if you are seeing the broader gift that is happening right now, then imagine the blessing that you are in right now. You are listening, you are tuning in. And whenever you get this, we always timestamp in. So even if you get it a year from now, you're getting it. That unified field of the masculine and the feminine standing naked in front of each other. Standing fully naked in front of each other and saying, here I am. This is, I am, we are the one. And calling this in for yourself, calling it in your life, living it, knowing it, and standing up in this moment, coming out of your cave and whatever that cave is or how that cave brought you in, but coming out with the opened eyes and the wisdom and the discernment of the one who is ready to greet that which is birthing without resisting it. And that's a tall order, and it's right now, and it's the next week. And Shri, I want you to talk about, every time I'm sharing this, all I'm getting is people holding their breath in their throat and upper heart. It's like it's almost like this, I can't quite get my breath moment.
Yeah. Well, the I can't get my breath moment, or anytime you start feeling a little contraction up here in the truth chakra, it is because we are resistant to expanding beyond a known truth. Now, truth is what you pull in to say, this is true for me. In conversationally, we can have objective truth. Energetically, we have our subjective truth.
Right.
And that the truth chakra, the throat chakra, is indeed the connection point between your heart and your ascended chakras, your upper chakras. So if the throat is very much articulating, constricting beliefs, it's very difficult to bring those two energies together. That is to lift from love up into the knowingness and the cosmic wisdom. So let's come back to the throat. One of the things about the throat, and one of the things that the Ascended Ones offer us, is if you were to bring a hand to your throat, especially it's wonderful to have one hand on your heart and one hand on your throat.
Yes.
Before speaking, you would be opening your throat to the truth of love, as opposed to a concept that might be outdated for the truth of you right now. One of the things that is important to remember is that our words shape reality. Our words are often attempts to induce others to believe a certain thing, whether it's to believe something about us or to believe something about the world. We use our words to shape and or sell something. When our words are anchored in love, then our words carry the energy of expansion.
Yes.
Versus the energy of constriction. So that was a rather long response to why does the throat tighten up? Because the ego is saying what you're transmitting to me is challenging the boundaries of my agreed truth.
Well, there it is.
And so you're challenging my boundaries a little bit, and I'm kind of unsure whether to allow myself to relax into that or hold tight to what I thought was so.
So let's breathe. I think we should all breathe through that. So let's just really bring in a nice deep breath through our nose. Out. And remember that whenever we take in a conscious breath, whenever we just say, okay, you know what, let's breathe. You want to really try to bring that in through the nose, feel it be received wherever it needs to go, and that beautiful exhale with a smile. Because when we exhale with a smile, we send a signal to the universe that we are here, that we have lifted through the heavy. The smile is an ignition. And this week, this energy right now, this peak up level experience, and it's very interesting. It opens on Monday the 14th, and it's going to go, really through the end of the year. However, it's going to hit this 21st next Monday. We are in a full 7-day cycle. And I love that these are the culminating 2 weeks of the Galactic Encyclopedia. It's lessons 11 and 12.
Oh, wonderful.
Lesson 11, we're delivering the lesson on the 14th, Peak Up Level. We will all be together for that ceremony tomorrow night. Again, if you want to be a part of that, shriandkira.com. You can check in on Monday Magic anytime. And then on the 21st, we will be together for lesson 12.
Right.
And I love that lesson 12 on the 21st, the mirror of that, lesson 12 and the 21,
1 or 1, 2,
right?
Hey.
And that's how this series has been. And for those of you that may not be aware, Shri and I have been out in the public since 2003. And we have been offering, through the behest of the masters, we have been offering public ensoulments since really 2004. And meaning they were happening long before then, but we went public then. And what's happened is that we have been called, when COVID came, which we all know how much has happened due to COVID's existence. And right before COVID came, last year, we were all time jumping. Remember that? The lineage holders all came together and we started surfing through time. So it's really a time surfing. So we surf through this time and we move through and before, and we discover our circularity. And is it any wonder that 2 years ago, the lineage holders started really coming forward, and that all we knew at that time was that if we didn't come forward, it was going to be a concern. Then when we all started coming together and we started time surfing, we made a collective decision to anchor, to call forward into this stream of consciousness, because we knew that it was a clarion call. We knew, we specifically said, take us to where we can be of the greatest service.
Yes.
And so remember, you are here right now in the thick of all of this by choice. The greater question is, are you here by conscious choice or not? Conscious choice is the awakening that you are here, and that this is the moment, and that this is not about inactivity. This isn't about staying in the cave right now. This is about understanding why you've been in the cave and claiming that and bringing it forward. The moment that we are in right now is where consciousness is being called to the forefront. And so with that, so is everything else. So it's a question of how. It's a question of how we are navigating this moment that is before the all. And it's a big one. It's a big moment.
And then I think the number one quality that I want to convey, when you're in the cave, we are receiving.
Right.
We are connecting. So we have a choice to just, ultimately, if it's an enlightenment moment in the cave, you have a choice to drop the body and go. When we step out of the cave, regardless of whatever level of attainment was brought forward, the only spiritual reason to step out of the cave is to be of service.
Right?
That my attainment, that my experience, that my discernments, wisdoms, connection, whatever words you want to put on it, that my being might be of service to other beings. Now, this is pivotal because each of us has a heart. Each of us says, I want to help, I want to serve. However,
breathe. I'm feeling it again. Breathe.
when we're at the place of knowing that my beingness, my consciousness is of service
There it is.
to the greater good, to humanity, to all that is, what we are saying is my foundation, my root chakra is no longer dependent upon the tribe, the safety of the exterior world. I am connected to an infinite source of love and light, and I am service in form. Now, how the service expresses is all your unique histories and trainings and stories and preferences. But the beingness that knows that my life is in service is the essence of the guru stepping out of the cave.
Breathe that in, because this is also about that first chakra, is it not?
Yes.
And this is why I want to put up again, here is the Ascended numerology for December. And I want you to look over at the physical body there at the first chakra. You see that 4, that triangle, that beingness? Well, here's what's so important. Every single month this year, 100% of the months this year, if you look underneath where it says December is a 7, but 2020 is that 4 plus the double infinite. So what has that meant? What that has meant is that if December is the 7, and you look here, you notice that it's a month about vision. It's a vision month. It's all about our greater awakening. And it's not just limited to our third eye. It is about our greater awakening, our greater vision. Remember, it's an awareness energy. So of course it's going to be about vision. You got to love how that lined up. And so through that vision, what happens is that when we transited from November into December, the energy came crashing in like a comet to our head, blew up our brain, went into our vision, and immediately did what? It did what it has done every single month this year. It immediately went to your root chakra. Your root chakra has been a trampoline for 12 months, and the good news is it ends in January. And so what happens, the energy came crashing in this month through our vision, dives down into our root, where it immediately, because of the double infinite, we don't even get the moment of stability. It's like a trampoline, and it goes way out. And then it anchors at that 11 with the double infinite again, forming that loop. And you have been in that loop until right now. We're in it right now, where all that divine energy, everything that's been in play since December 1 until right now, the 14th, everything that's been out there, everything that's been spiraling, everything on that left side, that divine feminine energy is getting ready to come barreling in to creation. And this was the difference between November and December. December is about bringing it into solid creation, making the connection, putting it together, getting that creation going. And it's coming with that perfect balance of the masculine and feminine with the new moon and with the sun. And the last thing I want to share here before we leave this graphic is that notice that December 21 does not factor into our ascended numerology this year. It factors into a lot of things, but it is not a factor in this moment. What is a factor will be December 30th. Because December 30th is going to tie this all together, and December 30th is the lotus. It is our ascended presence with the infinite. So the challenge, Shri, over the next 2 weeks, between right now when we're in this peak up level, and then we're going to have like a final oomph on December 30th, which is going to open up that December 31 as like its own thing. The challenge right now is going to be exactly what we were talking about tonight on Explore the Mysteries. And it's very much about this self-sabotage moment, because there is so much happening right now that your ego alone. What do you mean about December 21? What do you mean about this? What do you mean about that? Pay attention. Because the higher consciousness is the battle, and it's yours to claim and thrive with right now.
Everything in your life, especially those moments of contraction, righteousness, anger, or fear.
There's a trio. Or
I'll say it again. Contraction, righteousness, anger, or fear. Oh my.
Perfect balance. It's a 4. All right.
Every one of those moments is a springboard for your ascended mastery.
Exactly.
When we are in those experiences, we can either swim in them and choose to go back to sleep within them, or we can notice that they are revealing a positionality, a point of view that is anchored in a reality that has been challenged.
So really breathe that in. A point of view that's been anchored in a reality that's been challenged is actually a moment of growth, because you're growing to see the perceptions.
When we
right?
can notice it,
Exactly.
we're ready to move to the next level of our attainment.
Yeah.
And so this is such a beautiful thing, that this is why 12 months ago we mentioned that fear is an ascension symptom.
We said, remember this, and if you don't, go watch our video on the 2020 Ascension symptoms, because it was the first time ever fear. There were 2 overarching ascension symptoms among all the others this year, and fear was actually one of them.
The caveat, however, in prior times, fear is actually the energy of a collapse, a contraction. This year, because the level of consciousness of humanity was at the point where it could use fear to grow quickly in conscious awareness and mastery, that fear could be a springboard to something bigger. Wait a minute. And we were given the gift of the whole COVID scene as an opportunity to come inward and discover what reality were we choosing. And that's another conversation. There's so many gifts that came forward, and of course a lot of other tragedy that came forward.
Yeah.
However, the conversation right now is, how will you be in the face of your emotional experiences?
Right? Breathe that in.
In the place of mastery, there is great peace. The reactivity is far, far, far away.
Yeah.
In the place of an egoic reality, reactivity comes first. So peace is a moment's breath, but my norm is the bouncy, pulsing energy that is chaos. And the journey of your path of attainment you'll start seeing one diminishes and the peace comes up, and you get to notice that. There's no judgment here. These are just simply states that are feedback of where you are invested.
So breathe that in. I mean, really breathe that in, states of feedback of where you are invested. And that is where we are on the planet right now. As we gaze, as we pay attention, so many of you, we're getting ready to receive an amazing amount of beautiful people here very shortly. We have visitors here right now from Mount Shasta, actually. And what we're noticing is that this fear ascension symptom is also becoming an illuminator for many. For example, right now, there are many that are afraid to travel, that are afraid to leave their house, that are afraid to do anything. And, sincerely, you need to honor what you need to do for you. And when the fear becomes the motivator that stops our expansion is the moment that we have said yes to it. That the how has said, okay, my life is now, how do I navigate fear? And this week in particular, this very specific week is very much about supporting your dreams or your demons. And I want you to breathe that in, because right now in this illuminated new moon, diving into that beautiful illuminated void, it's like you're diving into the void going, wow, I can see what's in here. That's meeting a solar eclipse. To me, it feels like the male yielding and saying, let us meet in this moment of oneness, where we are both in the void, where we are both standing naked, where we are both saying yes. And in that moment, are you saying yes to your dreams, or are you saying yes to your demons? Because you are saying yes to something. And fear is here. And fear and grief are being woven together. And there is a lot of anger. And of course, we know that the formula is what? Fear plus anger equals hate. And when hate anchors, society drops. Consciousness collapses. The consciousness of hate is a very different frequency than the consciousness of love. Thereby, where love is, hate cannot be. And where hate is, love is hidden. But it doesn't mean it's gone away. It's the fear that keeps us bound. And so as an ascension symptom, the moment of your dreams and demons is before you. This is the key. This is the moment to really pay attention, because 2021 is the throat chakra. And I want to show you the spiral energy of that, because this spiral energy is really manifesting very, very quickly. And this is December. This is right now. And you'll notice that part of this is actually the background when we come back. This is what Shri and I, this has been our background. But what's happened is that we are in this balanced creation energy that is calling forward spiral time. We are in the transition into 2021 right now. And as we begin working in this spiral time energy, we're going to find a greater sense of, let's just say, appreciation of what time is and is not. And that if we can relax into that, we can come out of that cave as our true self, absolutely knowing that whatever moment your life experience is in, this is your birth moment as well. For all, because we are birthing through the paradigms of consciousness into levels we have never attained before.
Hey, just on a side note.
Okay, but breathe that one in before we just cut it off so fast.
Sorry.
Yeah, just breathe it in.
Absolutely, because the power of the recognition of this will support your expansion.
Yes. So on a side note.
I'm just letting it breathe it in for
all
a
right.
On a side note, I don't read much of the news because it doesn't nourish me. And periodically I catch something. And the something I caught recently was that, I think it was a NASA article that talked about the astronauts in the space station age more slowly than the people in mass consciousness.
So really breathe that in.
So there's a funny or pleasant little recognition here. What they were saying is that according to Einstein's relativity theories, that if you were to be operating way out, speed of light, aging would stop. And that the closer we get to Earth, the more the gravity of the timeline and the deterioration associated with that becomes...
And the alignment with it.
Yeah, it becomes quite a force field. But just the sheer thing of just being a little bit outside of Earth, that aging slows down. Well, our experience is the more that we anchor with our cosmic truth, meaning your timeless beingness, the more you are anchored outside of time as understood by conventional thought. And the more we're anchored outside of time, the less that time has anything to do with us.
Breathe that in, because this is what we've been describing as the 5 screens. It's very much the opportunity. This is the epitome of the yoga of self-ascension. It is the opportunity to have that conscious mastery presence fully illuminated within the body of form, thereby inviting the body of form into a greater state of vibrational frequency that is anchored outside of the 3rd and 4th dimensional energy.
Yes.
Now, this brings us back to, I'm going to pop that up level calendar up one more time because we want to share this, because this is another part of it. When you look at this calendar right here, this is another important gift, is that many, many, many are very excited about the 4th dimension appearing on the 21st. Woohoo! We're moving from the 3rd dimension to the 4th dimension. Now, that is absolutely a celebration. And for those that are really aligned in the 4th dimension, it will be an ego fest unlike any other ego fest. It will be amazing, and it will be fabulous, and it will be so all-consuming and such a buffet, and you'll be so sluggish in it that it's basically like a Roman feast. And after you're done gorging yourself and you're nice and lazy and you're in all of that, you don't even realize what's been coming in around you. Yeah. And that's the trap of this moment, is that, yes, the 4th dimension is an amazing experience and it's here. However, it is congested right now with an extraordinarily imbalanced amount of confused, disincarnate energy that is really excited to find your light and loves your ego as much as your ego loves it. And this is why the assault is on consciousness. December 14 through the 21st, before that window pops, is the moment to anchor your consciousness, to love yourself enough, to anchor your consciousness outside of the planetary thought body that is sustained by fear and anger and hate, and to hold yourself into that beautiful, and I'm going to show you this graphic again, where there it is, hold yourself in that energy of your ninth dimensional presence that is the witness again. Witnessing, right? That's that seventh dimensional presence. The witnesser, which is your fifth dimensional presence, bringing us here into the third dimension again. When we can hold our consciousness in the window of the greater good and the invitation of that flow, we reverse age, we are constantly inspired, our sleep cycles shift, everything aligns, and we are able to affect the balance through the conscious expression of balance.
We're being balanced.
Are we not? You know, and this is that law of instantaneous manifestation.
Well, yeah, and all of this ties to the recognition that sometimes there's a nomenclature issue, that people think the fourth dimension is the next destination. In reality, the age of Aquarius is being able to go into the fifth dimension to embrace seventh dimensional living. This is what it's about. The fourth dimension is a layer that's attached to and attracted to density, and is ego-based, just as ego-based as the polarity of density, only there's no bodies, it's just energy.
And the fourth dimension is very much the playground of spiritual activism. And this is why this is such a such a dangerous moment. The reason it's such a dangerous moment is because of this fourth dimensional spiritually active playground. This is going to be a moment of extreme us versus them. And that is going to play out in the realm of what is considered to be higher levels of awareness. You're going to see elitism. You're going to see a lot of I am, it's me, it's, just a lot of that. And that's totally cool. That'll help those that are in density. And it's out of balance with the real reason we're here, right? We're here to remember. So if we are remembering that which we are, then who are we not to be that which we are? That is a beautiful blessing. And that invitation is what's expanded on the 21st. Yeah. The question is, who is the we that's showing up?
Yeah, it's a dynamic time, and a time to cultivate your own discernments. Because when we discern with greater clarity, what we're doing is we're creating a context for our lives that actually supports our upliftment, as opposed to creating a context for our lives that supports dependency or disempowerment. The classic way of one way of level of this is the whole victim triangle, and how victims, people who feel that life's abused them in some fashion, are always seek a partner in pain. That is, I seek a tribe that will confirm that I've been done wrong, so I can feel better about my hurt and my disempowerment.
So you see the linearity of that? That's a very linear experience. And you're always in the spiral, but that's going to keep you in a ladder. That's why you repeat a lot of cycles right there.
And so that's one context, and we hang out there until we say enough.
Right.
Time to grow through that, and then we'll grow into the teacher, mentor, healer way of interacting.
Expansion. That's expansion.
And we've expanded now, where we see everything in our life as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to mentor others, to be in service, as opposed to be a product of life, meaning to be hit by, dependent upon life.
And
so these are contexts.
They are, but that expansion is then the foundation to allow us the gift of the up level. And this is so important. Now, what does it all bring us to? It brings us to that 0 point ignition. It brings us to the full embodiment of our self-ascended presence, which is everything that we're being gifted with right now if we just say yes. And, speaking of saying yes, Shri, I want to jump in and say, this past weekend, a lot happened. And we started talking about this earlier in the show, that on last Monday, during Monday Night Magic, Lesson 10 of the Galactic Encyclopedia, those of you that were there with us, those of you that are in that and read it again, actually came forward and talked about this specific weekend, and that it opened up on Friday night. So we had, consider this, we had the 11th on Friday night. Moving into, right, we're moving into this new moon. With each moment, we're getting closer and closer to this beautiful conjunction of the new moon and the solar eclipse. Then there was the 12-12, the mastery moment at hand. And yesterday at 12-12 here at TOSA Blue Mountain, we ignited with our Kenyari brethren the portal of light that will carry us through until New Year's Eve. And we had an incredible sacred Wachuma ceremony that sincerely defied the bounds of all. And we have some film of that for you coming up, because we really want you to be part of that. What's not in the film, and it was due to privacy, was the beautiful way this culminated, because it was really symbolic of the birth. And one at a time, our beloved Alexander, our Taita, had heated up all this sacred water, and it was filled with flowers from TOSA Blue Mountain. And there were other flowers, and everyone was encouraged to wear their bathing suits, and he brought couples together and then sprinkled the flowers over them and then poured the sacred waters over them. And this was like the culmination. Each being culminated their journey yesterday with this bath of new life. And that energy is in you right now, whether you were physically with us yesterday or not. That energy, that new life opened up. Yeah. And here we are today in the energy of the magic 13, the 12 and the 13, that energy of divine mastery presence in its totality. Remember that the truncated system of numerology on this planet just hacked it off. It basically said, you don't need to know your soul's journey. You just need to know about this. Right? Stay here. Let that be enough to keep you fascinated enough that'll keep you locked in. Yet we are at the moment of the ascension, the ascended presence, and it leads us to tomorrow. Well, yesterday on 12-12, we've been talking about it. We also ignited the sacred flame inside of the violet ray dome.
So much happening. And I just want to have one more sentence about the ceremony before we get to the dome.
Yeah.
And that is that one of the precious elements of the Kenyari ceremonies is that they celebrate our connection to Earth, to Father Sky, to each other.
The Grand Spiritu, as they call it.
Yeah, and the expansion of heart. And the heart is inclusive of everyone in the ceremony. So there is, what's created in these ceremonies, of course, there's divine connection and healing, but there's also a greater appreciation and respect for everything in our lives.
Yes.
As opposed to a ceremony that says, just go inward. Disconnect from the world and go have an inner experience.
It's the guru coming out of the cave.
Yes. And so it's a celebration of life. And
Yay!
We love that. And now, moving forward to our wonderful dome that was just erected here at the entry.
It's not 100% yet, but it's up.
Is that this, too, is the energy of the circle.
Yes.
The energy of the embrace and the energy of honoring the violet flame of transmutation and the recognition that each being that enters this land, this property, TOSA Blue Mountain, has an opportunity to be transformed, uplifted, and supported on their journey of expanding love.
And just to share with you in real time, it's so beautiful. You're going to see on this video Alexander, who's the engineer that built this dome for us. And what was so beautiful is the way that everything laid out, the way that everything had to happen, the dome's been delayed, and the way that they got here, they wound up spending 2 nights here with us. And during those 2 nights, we really discovered that we're very much aligned in consciousness, and they didn't want to leave, and they are coming back next week. And the gift is that we want to right now invite you to participate with us. And thanks to the magnificent efforts of our beloved Bria Rose and Jeanette, our beautiful on-site coordinator, everything has been coming together. And they are responsible for this extraordinary time-lapse film. It is phenomenal. So we want to invite you right now, because in the energy of this up level, peak up level, in this moment of really breaking free, invite yourself to just connect with the beautiful violet ray dome. It is not completed, but it is up and the flame gets ignited, and we want to share that energy with you. Yesterday's incredible birthing that is happening for the planet, and the gift of relaxing into the master you are. And when we come back, we're going to expand this conversation, and we'll be starting to take your calls right away. So get in the queue. We'll be right back. Enjoy this incredible film.
Well, we are Equa Container. We are at Paure, Ecuador. We built this beautiful dome. So this dome is a metal structure. This metal structure was built by hand for us. Now we are doing some finished work to this. It is a 7 meters dome. It is bigger than 40 square meters. Well, it was designed in a V2 style. So it will be here. It will have a flame in the center. This flame have all the elements on this. You are going to see it. The idea of this dome is to give to the nature a beautiful shape, a shape that is according with the surrounding that we have here. So we did this to our client. Well, now we're finishing, and then we're going to show you more details about this.
See look all the way to the back wall. You'll see the illuminated pyramid.
Yeah,
You see
from
that?
right down here.
Correct. And the flame will be, that's directly in the center of the flame. And the flame will be on, and you'll see.
I'm gonna go inside.
It's the circle with the square with the pyramid. Inside the violet ray dome. And I have 3 master amethysts that I've been holding for a long time. So the one's going to be here. It's about that tall. And then the Avesa stones will be back here, the other 2. This is going to be our reception center. And then all of our crystal and Shivoham. And then now, right at the top of the next page, there we are, Shri.
It is in the unification of the lion and the lamb that the eagle will soar and the condor will join. Together, they shall form the great serpent of understanding, coming forward again to galactic reunification. You will say, what divine riddles you offer to us today, and your DNA knows exactly what we are offering.
So just really breathe in that symbology. And I do want to share with all of you that on a very stunning note, along with the larger overnote here, it was just a few weeks ago that we were sitting with Alexander of the Kanyari, and the great serpent is the Kanyari.
Yes.
Literally, we just installed the great serpent into the Violet Ray Shiva temple that just came forward to us. The condors here lately have now moved into our valley right down by our river house. I mean, they are right down at the river, and it has been phenomenal to see these huge birds so closely. You hear the wings, like they soar over you, you hear them. And the eagle energy is really right now calling, and they're saying that the eagle will soar and the condor will join. And the great serpent, this is bringing us to the March equinox.
Mhm.
And this is really, to me, saying this is the energy of the March equinox that is going to be 2021, because 2021 is the year that's going to determine 2022. Hey, and we are back, and I am just still in that ceremony. Aren't all of you? Thank you for being here. And my beloved husband took a break, and when he comes back, it will be a fabulous moment for us to be with him. And so I want to remind all of you right now, please go ahead and give us a call in. Oh, it looks like the lines might be full, but let me go ahead and give you that number again, 888-627-6008, right over there at BBS Radio. And of course, right over here at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. So first and foremost, aren't you guys excited about this beautiful violet ray dome? And as you know, as you could tell, we wanted you to see it. We wanted you to know it's real and that it really happened, and that we did illuminate that flame. That was video. All that video you saw was from yesterday. Beautiful Bria Rose put all that together in time for the show today. And so that beautiful violet flame got ignited. We are not going to show you that dome again until you join us New Year's Eve, right, Sri?
Hey.
He's here.
I had to go get my cup of tea refreshed.
And he refreshed mine too, and that was worth every moment, and I'm so grateful. So Sri, New Year's Eve, that's when we're going to show you guys. That's when you'll get to not only see the violet ray dome, but enter it for the ensoulment.
Oh, and there's some fun planned because the lighting and the crystals and so much to come in there.
And other surprises.
I want to talk about New Year's.
Yes.
As in Eve.
Yes.
As in Adam and Eve, as in the Garden of
I'm
Eden.
there. I'm right here.
Hi, Eve.
Talk to me. Get me a fig leaf, which we do grow.
Every year we have the delight of sharing an ensoulment, a live archangelic connection, a dispensation that will help you enter the new energy, the new year, with greater expansion, information, context, and inspiration. And these ensoulments are offered through as a gift of divine love through Kira Ra, and that we together create an energy where this opening can be shared live. And New Year's Eve offers a prediction for the coming year. It offers an initiatory energy that will prepare you for the coming year. And it's a very special gift. And when we participate live, you are in the flow of that energetic initiation. You're in the flow of the gift, the healing energy. And I encourage you to just say, I'm willing to take a little time out of whatever I was doing and connect with that.
Yeah.
And this is going to happen at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on December 31, coming right up. And we encourage you to register so that you can get the link to the live event and be participating consciously with the folks that are gathered here who are also holding open the space of this in the divine new cathedral that is our Dome of the Violet Flame. And it just, there's so much coming.
There is. And so we're not going to show you the Violet Ray Dome again. We want it to really be the surprise and the ignition that it's meant to be. All of us that will be here live will be dressed as the master that has come out.
It's celebration
right?
time.
And so in that energy of right now, in this peak up level that's coming in, and there will be another up level oomph on the 30th, in that energy, who is the master that is revealing themselves now? And if you're joining us at home, why not call together your friends? Why not begin your New Year's Eve with everyone gathering in their best costumes, whether you're gathering virtually or not, and tune in. Be part of this moment. You know, we for many years, we offered an ensoulment, public ensoulment every month. And in the early years, Shri and I were doing ensoulments every day, sometimes twice a day. And what we now know is that the reason we were so front loaded, and it was very draining and very, very challenging, but we did it and we loved it and it was phenomenal and such an honor. We now know that the reason all that was front loaded was because it basically had to all be like inserted into the consciousness, into the timeline of this experience, so that if we arrived at this moment now, and we have, that we would still be here on the planet. And many of you know there's lots of reasons Shri and I were not supposed to be on the planet right now, yet we are. And the reason that we're here is the same reason you are. Yes. Because we consciously said, I will stay through this moment. It is the reason that I am here in this timeline. It is the reason that my body is sustaining itself. You know, the Divine Director shared with us about a year ago now that when we align with our true service, and when all ulterior motive is gone, meaning the me consciousness is not what drives us, then the body will continually sustain and revitalize as long as it serves the greater. Yeah. It's just that easy. It's just that easy.
You know, your body is in sacred partnership with your soul. It is not in opposition, you know. And when we line up, when our consciousness lines up with the service for the sacred reason we took birth, when we start lining all that up, the body goes, yes.
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 This is exciting.
Yes, it is.
And we begin to resolve lifelong patterns. We begin to bring in new vitality and the energy of resurrection.
Yeah, baby.
So part of this also happens when we choose to stay aligned with people, places, and energies that support our expansion versus trigger our egos.
Breathe that one in, because as you do, I want to expand out and say hello. We have full lines everywhere. Shri, where are we beginning?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to pop over to BBS Radio. Let's here, and we're going to say hi to Anita from Ohio on line 5.
Well, hey, Anita, namaste.
Hey. Hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I love you.
Oh,
I have so much gratitude for what you have helped me get through over the past 3 years.
Thank you for sharing.
I feel you. I really feel you. How can we serve you, sweetheart?
I I don't know, just tell me, how do I serve the greater good? If I'm on the right path. I've had some health issues. I don't know if there's anything else I can do to, I don't know, assist my journey or integrate my ego.
So first of
Anything
all,
you have for me.
okay. First thing I want you to do is I want you to relax your breath, because I'm feeling that what I've been noticing through the whole show today. I want you to just really breathe with me there. Breathe in, and also bring your breath really down to your third chakra, your belly. And whoa, just let it out, right? Just let it out. Angel, it's so beautiful. You have like these beings that are dancing around you, and they're all saying the same thing. Oh my goodness, take that burden off of you. You are like burdened with wanting to do it so well that you're forgetting to enjoy it. You're forgetting to let it show you how fun it can be. They're saying that put down the burden that is carrying the question and pick up the paintbrush of that which is before you. And I'm seeing you besides this like massive canvas, and you've got like this huge, like, almost cartoon size, oversized brush. And with each stroke, it's like you're cleaning a window. And they're saying the clarity you seek has already arrived. Trust that it is all flowing, and pay attention to that which keeps unlocking your greater joy. They're saying it's all around you. And as I'm sharing that, I'm really being tickled. It's like these beautiful little beings are tickling your seventh chakra. And I'm thinking about how by the end of the month, we're exploding into the eighth. And it's like they're saying, hey, you got this. Don't worry about it. You got this. Yeah. Don't worry about it. So it is. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Much love to you, dear.
Thank you, honey. I love you. Mwah. Thank you, sweetheart.
Love you too.
Yeah. Right
Thank
there.
you again.
Yeah. Thank you, honey.
Well, let's take a breath together as a community and embrace, the love that is offered here, and the reminder that it's not meant to be hard.
Archangel Zodkill 101.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's one of the first things Zodkill really brought in.
Life is not meant to be hard.
No.
And challenge and efforting are the byproducts of an egoic lens with which we engage life. And when we have been efforting and struggling and being confronted, there comes a point where we say, enough is enough. I choose to let it go.
And sometimes that enough is enough moment is the anger that propels you over the edge, where you see the insanity of the moment. So it's important not to stuff your experiences. Many beings, this passive-aggressive behavior that is rampant on the planet right now is part of that fourth dimensional pull. And it feeds the ego very well.
Yes.
It really does. And so just take that moment. Wow, as I'm sharing that, losing breath again. Let's breathe in, bring it down to that third. Wow. Yeah. All right, Shri, where are we going next?
Well, okay, we're back over at the 800 line of BBS Radio.
Okay.
And over on line 1, we have, it looks like, Lario from South Korea.
Hey, namaste, Angel. Welcome.
Hi, Shri and Kira. So good to connect with you guys.
Welcome.
Wonderful to connect with you.
Yeah, thank you. I really related to the stepping out of the cave, and also stepping out to be in service, and that's exactly what I've been going through the past 8 months. And I feel that I am emerging as of now. I do feel some of my old human stuff, kind of, still the baggages. I still feel it, but. Anyways, I just wanted to say that I really related to your words. I would love a mini soul reading, and I would love to know if you guys have any plans to offer the Atlantean Chamber workshop again.
Well, first of all, take a breath. Just take a breath, sweetheart. I mean, really bring it up and take a breath. I want to answer the Atlantean Healing Chamber first. We are actually unrolling or rolling out starting in February, the entire Avesa Institute protocols. We are going to be teaching them live from here so that you can join us from anywhere in the world. So we are going to begin in February. We will be teaching live again the Avesa balancing protocols with all of the enhanced crystalline features. And then, yes, we will be teaching the crystalline chamber. So
Atlantic healing chamber, as well as the Avesa medical intuitive training for help practitioners.
The crystalline healers need to arise. And so, first of all, thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. We weren't going to announce that, but you asked, and it's like, okay, I guess we're supposed to announce it.
Yeah, it's coming soon.
So thank you for asking. We're very excited, and more details on that will come in later this month. Now I want to come back to just you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, sweetheart. So now I want to come back to just you, honey. As you were sharing, and I'm feeling it right now, as a matter of fact, I'm getting the A-tuner. There is, so the A-tuner, this opens up those cosmic prime meridians and helps clear those congestions. As I am connecting with you, it's almost like I'm feeling like I'm being pulled into the screen by this grip that's got you, and it's got you right here. It's got from across the bridge of the nose straight up, and it's like a pull. And I feel it, and it almost congests through your ears. And what's happening is that your cosmic prime meridians, which are right here, you see where I have the tuner? Those are the cosmic prime meridians. When those open, that floodgate of fear and doubt leaves, and this area of experience opens up greater. So even as I'm sharing this with you, I'm feeling the disconnect come into me. So I want you to just make your spine straight, and really everyone, the blessing of this being is that she's offering this attunement. This attunement isn't just for you, it's for everyone. And so if you want to join us, sit with your back as straight as you can, or stand with your back straight, or if you're laying down, let your back be straight. I'm going to sound the tone, and then I'm going to put the toner into the camera, as you see right here. And that's going to be these two spots where you see me pointing them on Shri right here. Those two, the beginning EFT spots, actually, right at the beginning of the eyebrow. And then I want you to just breathe and receive, and then we'll continue. So let's everybody just hands to heart. You can certainly close your eyes if you want to begin with, breathing up. And let's receive the tone. And just breathing up again. And let's bring that energy straight up and breathe up and breathe up and just receive. And in closing, it's really about the past 8 months have brought you to a moment of remembrance and a moment of awareness that is seeking greater anchoring. See, now I'm feeling with that energy flowing, I'm feeling your shoulders relax. I'm feeling your arms relax. I'm feeling your hands become energized with new energy. I'm feeling your spine relax. And they're saying it is time to be filled with that which you are and to put it into motion. I'm also feeling right in the back of your crown, right back here, there's been like a little energy that's just kind of been attached to your thought body that's kept you distracted. And it's really going. It's like it's ready to leave, and you're pretty clear on it. It's like you're at that moment of the big smile of the master. And so thank you for bringing this blessing to all of us today. We are really grateful.
Much love, dear.
Thank you so much.
Namaste, honey. Many blessings.
Yeah.
Whew, Shri, do you guys need to breathe? Do you feel that? Wow. All right, Shri, where are we going next?
Well, I'll tell you what, let's first just take a breath, because when we allow ourselves to pause and be present, we can receive the fruits, the gifts, the benefits of that which was presented. And this is one of the joys of living a conscious life. And now, yes, let's go over to Oneness Talk Radio. And it looks like we're going to Maine, and we'll say hello to this caller.
I think it's Mass. I think
Is
it might
that
be
Mass?
I think Andover's in Massachusetts.
My
All right, this is Massachusetts, I believe. Namaste and welcome. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, namaste. Hi, my name is Catherine.
Hi.
And hi, I just found you guys like 3 weeks ago, and I just love everything you have to say. Regarding the Ascension triangle, and then the other triangle with the victim, the name of the triangle with you said like you become teacher and the
Teacher, mentor, healer.
Right.
victim.
It's that. Right. It's a victim abuser. Right. We got you. We're right with you.
Yeah, so that those triangles just resonate and have already helped me in 3 weeks. So what I want to ask you though, I mean, I've always felt like I'm a happy being, but recently my 24-year-old nephew Derek was murdered in New Mexico, and I'm having a hard time knowing how to integrate that, and then it's like the Band-Aid keeps getting ripped off because he was I'm afraid because it's a cover up, and it's just I don't know how to deal with it. So I just didn't know if you could have some reading for me that would kind of, I like the cave thing that you talked about. Of course, I can integrate this into healing others, but yeah.
So first and foremost, we've got you. I mean, we got you.
Thank you.
We got you. And here's our hand. So that's the first thing. You're not alone. You're not alone. And I'm gonna invite Shri to get really deep on this one with you, because Shri went through this with his son. And so I think that he's really qualified to talk about this. I remember the night in Guatemala when we got the call that Shri's son had been found dead in a hotel room in Bangkok. And so we understand what that shock can be, especially when it comes in a form that has no sense of reason. And so, Shri, I really think that you need to jump in here. I really do. So honey, relax and breathe. We really are with you. We get it.
Whenever we have a situation that really pulls at us, we have two levels going on. We have the very human part of us that is in the grieving process. And then we have the more ascended part of us that is gathering the energy to lift beyond drowning in that is going to expand. And we need to be clear that there's kind of dual consciousness at work here. So on the first hand, the human being, you, are in a grieving process. And the first thing that happens there is the shock, that we're in shock over what has happened.
Because it challenges everything that you are sharing. It's like there's that part of you that knows it, but it's been challenged at its core.
And that there are the classic stages of grief that we cycle through, and how fast we cycle through is very individual. But the shock and the denial that this has happened or this can't be or whatever it is a natural reaction. And then there is the piece around the anger that is associated with this event. And it's real important to be tender to yourself, to have
love
mercy.
You more.
And to be able to say, I loved him. And I didn't realize perhaps how deep my connection was until he's left. At least left this plane of existence. And to honor your process, to be with whatever you're feeling, and not to inhibit yourself. Because when we honor the process, we move very quickly through the stages. We touch each feeling long enough for it to provide us with what it is. And that we can move through and get to a point of resolution. Now, the point of resolution comes when we begin to look at this event as providing, call it a momentum for his soul's journey.
And I want to jump in here and share with you that one of the ways you arrive here is by letting go of thinking you need to know it now.
Yes.
Of stop thinking, why isn't this making sense? Why don't I understand this yet? Why? Tell me the greater reason for this. It's when you let go of that. I mean, when you really let go of that you can arrive into this moment. And one of the things that Shri and I did was we made an altar for Alden. We got out pictures and we made an altar, and we had him very present in our home. And that was the time when we started really getting the greater gifts, that they revealed themselves. It was interesting. It was like over a week or so, we would light, we had our own routine where we would light a candle and we would talk and we would share. But it was during that week that the clarity came as to the greater expansion. And it came because we had let go of trying to understand it, and we were just honoring that moment at hand. Yeah. And so I do want to step in with that, because what I'm hearing from you, what I'm experiencing as I connect with you, you are so awake and you are so available. And there is a complexity to this. This is not just about him. And I know you already know that. And I will share with you that the greatest gift that you are being given right now is the challenge. The challenge means that the universe knows you're ready. It's how we walk through the challenge. You know, this is what we were saying about this week. I mean, I love that you got through this week. I love that you're on the air. I mean, just the miracle of getting through is a big thing, right? But you're on this week right now. And this is the week that is going to either call forward your dreams or your demons. And so that challenge, it's in many respects, you're right on time. Yeah. And that means that the higher essence of this beautiful being who is part of your greater awareness, that convergence in this moment is not an accident. And just stay with that. Because you will, I promise you it's going to be faster than you think. It's like I see you waking up going, oh my God, like it's boom, 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 boom. And then you're so good at putting stuff together anyway. You're like boom, 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 and now go. Yeah. And that's really what's ahead of you right now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a gift of heart expansion upon you.
Massive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Massive. I am so proud of you. I just want to say that you have such courage and you are such a tenacious, amazing being. I just thank you for being on the planet right now, because you are ready for everything that's before you. And just thank you. We're glad to connect with you.
Yeah.
Much love.
Well, I hope to get to see you sometime soon.
Please
you.
do. Thank you, my
love. The door is open. Much love.
Namaste.
Okay, thank you. Namaste.
Bye, sweetheart. Wow. I think we all need to take a breath, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's just all really take a breath on that. You know, many of you know, it was just last week that my own brother transitioned off the planet from COVID. And it was also a very quick, shocking, like I didn't even know. I had literally 4 hours from he's in the hospital dying to he's no longer here. And this is the moment we're in. You know, this is part of the experience. And we talked about this in the first half of the show. We actively begged, chose, and with all sincerity said, insert me here. If I am to be of greater service, if this lifetime is about that massive opportunity to really ascend, to lift out of a spiral of eternal lateral movement and go up, then bring me to where that can happen. And that's why we are here now. If you are here right now, it is not an accident. It is somewhere in the spiral energy of your own divine mastery. We are connecting in this very moment. Yeah. And that is the gift of this new moon illumination, solar eclipse coming together right now.
You know, one of the profound lessons that life offers to us, and certainly a gateway to living an ascended life, is to cultivate the energy of loving acceptance. Mm-hmm. When we are in judgment of something that has occurred, and we judge it as right or wrong, or should have, shouldn't have, etc., what we're doing is we're positioning ourselves as basically as God, saying this is how it's to be, versus being in alignment with the greater flow that is upon us. Love expands on a foundation of unconditional acceptance.
Breathe that in. You want to say that again?
Yeah. Love is expanded as we reside in unconditional acceptance. Mm-hmm. To be able to be non-resistant, to be able to go, and be the witness and offer peace, to offer acceptance out to the world, is an expansion of love. It is the position, you might say, of compassion. to be compassionate towards self and others. And this is indeed one of the great challenges for human beings, is to come to the heart, because the heart is the foundation of your ascended state of being. The heart is the gateway to even more. It's not the end game, it's the entrance.
And that's the gift, right? Is that at its essence, I mean, if you filter through all of the other layers of interesting energy, at its essence, all dogmatic traditions do point to love and do point to the heart. However, it limits it to the experience of this body and form through that heart. And it is when we arrive at that moment of breakthrough, which is actually the validation of the dogma, ironically, right, is when most dogmas shut us down. And, you know, I went through this myself. I think many of you know, I shared the story before. For many years, I was very much and still adore Paramahansa Yogananda, but I was a member of SRF. And I had intended and forgot today to bring you the 2 copies of the autobiography of a yogi, because there are 2 distinct versions. And I have read both, and I've actually page by page compared both. And what is so beautiful was that I first met my beloved Paramahansa Yogananda through the Self-Realization Fellowship, through SRF. As a matter of fact, Sri and I were literally married, not on the SRF property, but right next to it on the beach at Encinitas. I mean, it was that deep in my heart. And we had our wedding brunch at the Saint Germain Cafe. And so got to throw that in there. I'll never forget. And the reason I'm mentioning this is I was so in love and so enamored, which is very much what the divine directors talk about, how we can be enamored in our spirituality. I was so enamored, and I was at the Wednesday night meditations, and I could hardly wait for us to get into meditation. It was like, come on, I want this 2 hours, you know. It was so exciting, and the harmonium and everything that it brought to me. And during that time was when I first started having this experience of ensoulment happening. And I wasn't even aware it was happening. I didn't know it was happening because it never really came forward till I was with Sri. But when I talked to some people about it, I was immediately told that it was impossible and that I was no longer compatible to be there. And I was literally shut down from the Self-Realization Fellowship, because how could I shut down who I was? And so I walked away with a very challenging lesson in front of me. And it was right around that time that the blue version, the blue cover of the autobiography of a yogi was finally able to be released after years and years and years of lawsuits and all the other reasons why the dogma around Paramahansa Yogananda, that says only the few deserve Kriya and only this is that and this is whatever, that dogma, which is phenomenal and I love with all my heart, but that dogma became so self-sustaining that it forgot the truth over here. It forgot the essence of Paramahansa Yogananda. And in the Blue Book, what is so beautiful is that it is the unedited. It is Paramahansa Yogananda speaking to you without a filter of editors, without people that say, no, we're going to create a myth. Because what we do to keep each other down is we create the myth of enlightenment. And what is the myth of enlightenment? The myth of enlightenment is that you become an impossible, achievable experience. You become an illusionary experience. You become a myth. We mythologize virtually all of our spiritual heroes, gurus, those that we look at. We mythologize them because we are so distracted by the illusion of this. And so what that book did for humanity, and I bow before the one who brought it forward and the one who fought the lawsuit and said, I will hold your truth, beloved guru. And I really do, because what that book did was it shatters the illusion, the myth. It shows you very clearly, let's look at, not Yukteswar, but yes, Yukteswar, forgive me. Swami Sri Yukteswar was a lawyer who sued everybody all the time because they were being attacked all the time, because the ashram had all kinds of people that were objecting to it all the time. And Swami Sri Yukteswar was not kind in the eyes of the uninitiated, because Swami Sri Yukteswar was nakedly authentic.
He was stern and clear.
He was clear, thereby interpreted as stern.
Yes.
Because he held a level of mastery that could only be that which would break free the guru. Because when Paramahansa first met Swami Sri Yukteswar, he met him in the alley. They loved, they embraced. It was this incredible commitment. And it was the, I love you with all my heart. You are, this and that. And then it was 27 years before he would hear his guru say, I love you again. Because that was the journey that he needed to take for the ego presence in him. And the struggle with his ego and the humanity of that which he is so eloquently expressed in that version of the autobiography of a yogi that it assists those that are ready to break free of the myth. And that's when the guru comes out of the cave, when the guru is able to be broken free of the myth.
Yes, and the myth is a projection.
Exactly. And it keeps us in density. It's our limitation.
That many people say, you don't want to meet your heroes.
Right.
And what they're really saying is, I don't want to discover the humanity. I prefer the mythology.
Because if I discover the humanity, I will have to look at the humanity of myself. Mm-hmm. I will have to go deeper. It's not about don't meet your heroes. It's saying don't meet your heroes unless you're ready to become a hero of yourself. Yeah. Unless you're ready to say, I will stand next to you rather than simply watch you. And those are both wonderful ways to grow. It's how and when we grow that expands our vision beyond the limitation. And the limitation is always that which our perception calls forward.
Yes. And we have a line open at both places, so I want to give you those numbers. You might be able to ring in and say hi at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500, and over at BBS Radio, 888-627-6008.
And while you're calling in, let's jump to Oneness Talk Radio, and we're going to say, I'm sorry. Okay.
We're jumping over here.
We're jumping to BBS.
To
I didn't
BBS
realize.
Radio.
All right.
And we're going to say hi over on line 4 to Rita from Florida.
Hey, Rita from Florida, first-time caller. Welcome to the show.
This is crazy. I never thought you were going to call my name.
I love it.
I love you guys so much. I just love you. I don't have words to say.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. It's so many. I'm following you, I guess, since 2012.
Thank you.
And I just love you guys. It's as simple as that. Everything you say, I live every day. And but I was in the cave for my whole life, and now I'm coming out of the cave, I guess, with this phone call because it's crazy. It's beautiful. I love you. That's all.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you,
honey. I'm just loving you. I'm wanting to dance. I'm like, let's just do a little we're dancing. And I'm so happy that you got through and that we're having this opportunity to connect with your vibrancy, because that's the energy. It's like you're wearing this huge crown. I mean, and it's like it's almost got like pads on your shoulders, but it's not heavy, but it's this, it comes up, but your head is much bigger, much bigger. And there's this grace and this anchoring and this wisdom and this energy that's gazing at you. And it's saying, remember, you are ready. Remember, there is nothing you do not know, and you have been here long enough to not be that which you are. And they're saying this moment is not an accident, and that it is a moment for you to remember that you are witnessing yourself, and that the world has arrived at a moment where you can be witnessed. And so thank you. Thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Much love to you, dear.
The same to you guys. I love you.
Bye, sweetheart. Wow. So what's interesting is I want all of you to feel your feet. My feet are actually tingling right now. And that reminds us to keep working with the self-ascension living Ankh practice, because my feet are tingling and I'm feeling, you feel that?
Yeah.
And so what that's saying is, remember that the living Ankh practice really is best done barefoot on earth. But if not, barefoot in your living room, whatever. But it reminds us and it invites us on how to call in our own eternal mastery presence at a moment where, especially right now, today, tomorrow, all week, call in, stand in that eternal presence. And so if you don't know the living Ankh practice, go to ShriAnKira.com. Right up at the top where it says self-ascension, click on it, and all the practices, they're all free. Click on the living Ankh practice and use it, because wow, are you feeling that, Shri? Yeah. Really powerful, guys.
And I want to teach a little more about this, because
powerful.
The living Ankh practice is an essential ascension energy flow.
Yeah.
We have been taught over the millennia to send our energy down into the earth, as opposed to lifting our energy into the love of the cosmos, into the place of our birth.
The self-ascended presence.
And while the earth has great nourishment, great teaching, great support for all beings, we are at a new time. And the time now is one of walking gently on the earth, not using her as a dependent child, rather to say we walk with you, not on you.
Yeah.
And so the living Ankh practice is about lifting energy up through your feet, up through the spine, and the details are at our website.
You become that, that Da Vinci?
Yeah, you become that,
right.
that resurrected energy.
Exactly, the eternal.
And it is a fabulous gift to give yourself, a fabulous recharge, because the more that we engage the density consciousness of mankind, you're going to find that you'll get fatigued more easily.
Yeah.
And then when we're fatigued, we're less resilient. And when we're less resilient, we become more fused or velcroed in to the strata we call density consciousness, as opposed to lift the energy up the spine and out the head, to lift, to be buoyant, and then we engage whatever you have to engage in density from a place of ascended energy. And if we find ourselves beginning to, densify, that's when we take a moment and reconnect with our cosmic energy, as opposed to put our head down and charge forward into density, which will certainly swallow you up.
and it's distracting. Remember that we're at a moment this week, we were sharing this earlier, this week is a moment to really call forward your dreams or your demons. So who is, what is, and how are you meeting this up-level moment, this beautiful, glorious gift? And again, if you are with us in Monday Magic tomorrow night, we are going to be together for this moment. Go to ShriAnKira.com and learn about it.
Yes.
There is just so much happening on the planet right now. And I also find it very powerful, because this profound feminine masculine balance is really what's building, which is why we opened it up this past yesterday, toward this March 21 summit, the 19th through the 21st of March. This is that moment. This is that WWA, that Women Wellness Awakened moment on the planet. It is massive. It is ascended. Please go to wwaglobal.com, learn about it. And join us New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve is when we will announce the virtual experience of the WWA Summit. So again, the ensoulment. Why not invite the ensoulment into your New Year's Eve experience this year? And that's also sitting there at ShriAnKira.com.
Beautiful. Hey, I tell you what, let's go visit the Caribbean.
Let's visit the Caribbean. I'm always up for that.
We have Marius on line 3 over at BBS. Welcome.
Hey, namaste, beloved angel. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi, greetings to you guys. It has been years that I've been following you guys. It's my first time. And I love you guys in times of, the trials and tribulations. I normally listen to you guys, follow you guys, and so forth to keep up my frequency. I really love you guys. Today, for some reason, I just decided to give you guys a call and get a soul reading from you guys.
Wow, it's our lucky day.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for reaching out. It's a joy to connect with you.
You're so amazing.
Yes.
I'm like so in love with you.
Thank you.
Oh no, sweetheart, thank you.
Thank you.
No, you know, you have this beautiful group around you who love to sing and love to just get into the flow. And what they're saying is that you are at a moment where the song of your soul and the song of your mind are ready to come together in a way that they have not done before. And they're saying, offer greater love to all that is, offer greater love to the you that is now, and remember once more the truth of you. And they're saying, breathe in now. And as you watch the sunset and the sunrise, that inspired moment you have been calling for will reveal itself again. You're on the brink of a massive expansion, and your timing is not an accident. And I am feeling all of my chakras while I'm connecting with you. It's like each one is like a pop of light. It's like light. And it's like I'm feeling this energy just like uplifting. And they're saying, breathe up, exhale out, and claim it again. And so it is.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Wow is right, honey.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I love you so much. I'm so glad you got
Thank
through
you
today.
very much. Okay. Love
Bye,
you
Angel.
too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much
there.
for that.
Yeah, right there. Thank you. Whew, I think we all need to breathe, don't we?
Yeah.
I need a minute, guys, because have we been blessed today? Every one of our callers, I mean, this has been a day of such profound connection and such divine reminder, and this reminder of we've got each other, that you are not alone, you are up leveling, and you are remembering, and the total joy of the expansive nature of the all that is now is right in front of you. It's just humbling to be with.
Absolutely.
Really, my heart is like, wow, pinch me, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's part of why we came, right? I always say that's part of why we came, so I can do this with Cherie, because I just wanted to touch him again.
You know, one of the blessings of having a body is to bring with it all those channels of perception and experience that are so tangible and present. And, you know, as we come to a close for today, I want to invite each of us to take a moment. And if you feel comfortable bringing a hand to your heart right now,
always
take a moment and breathe. I am here and I am grateful.
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 Because no matter what you are experiencing, no matter what emotions go with those experiences, you get to touch life through that. And you get to activate your awareness through that. And you get to offer back to the collective, back to spirit, the energy of your experience, your wisdom, and your love that will inform and bless all that is.
Now breathe into that, because I am aware and I am grateful is a declaration of consciousness. It always begins with awareness, and then it moves into that conscious awareness where we have conscious experience and conscious choice that offers us the blessing of ascending up in that spiral. We are now in spiral time. We are being offered this opportunity to lift in a way we have not ever lifted before. Yeah. And it's not only possible, it is happening. It's the moment to say yes to you, to know that everything you have ever held, everything you've ever known is not an illusion. It is the depth of that which you are here to create through the complexity, the divine dance, the exquisiteness of the way we're aligning all this energy in this moment.
So no matter where you are, who you think you are, or what you might be doing, when we can pause Take a loving breath and just pull back from the picture just enough.
Just a midge.
Just enough to smile at your life, to smile at the experience, not to pass judgment, just to notice that I am aware.
I am aware.
I am here.
I am here.
And I am grateful.
I am grateful. Hyphen.
And in that moment, perhaps a smile will come to your face. Perhaps,
I bet it will.
Perhaps that moment of joy will bubble up because consciousness is joy. And joy is the signal that you are connected to your soul, that everything is flowing as it needs to be flowing, and that all is well.
It truly is.
So, beloved ones, once again, as we come to a close, let's have our hands on our hearts. Let's smile at life and say, I am here as a loving participant in this grand co-creative experience.
I am here as a loving participant in this grand co-creative experience. I love you.
And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Get in there tomorrow. Monday Magic. Let's up-level together.
Yes. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week.